Out of all the countries that have adapted Pokemon into their native language, none have captivated my interest as much as German Pokemon, more specifically, the names of all these pocket monsters. As a kid, I would jam to the German version of the Pokerap and try to keep up with all the creative names they came up with. Since I'm so fascinated with all these names, I figured why not cover the etymology of the German names the same way I did for the Japanese names. Although I don't know much about German, I'll be honest, all I know in German is a few naughty words, so with my limited knowledge, doing this video solo is out of the question. So for the rest of this series, we'll have a friend of mine helping me with all these names. She's a talented artist who has illustrated all 151 Pokemon from the Kanto region and has also continued to the Johto region on her Instagram. May I introduce to you fellow YouTuber, Donata!
Thank you, Otta, for asking me to do this video series with you. I'm very excited to be a guest on your amazing channel and talk about the Pokemon names that have accompanied me since childhood. Although, or rather because I grew up with the German names, I never really thought about their etymology. Many of these names are intuitively understandable if you speak German, but others have very surprising origins, so it has been interesting to learn more about them. For my research, I mostly used PokeWiki, which is a German web encyclopedia for Pokemon, similar to the English Bulbapedia. Now I hope all of you are as excited as I was to learn about the German Pokemon names.
That's awesome! Let me be the first to say how excited I am to learn all these names. So, with all the introductions out of the way, let's begin! Starting off with our cute and cuddly Vegisaurus, Bulbasaur, we have an interesting name in the form of Bisasam.
This name comes from the Latin prefix bi, referring to its duality of being both plant and animal. The sa most likely derives from saw, as in dinosaur. And the final part is from Same, which is the German word for seed. Altogether, you get Bisasam.
Next up, we have Bisasam's evolved form, Bisaknosp.
The Bisa part is the same as with Bisasam, but with a new ending, Knosp.
Knosp. That makes me think of elemental hero Knospe from Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, the walking talking bud man.
Funny you should mention that, because Knospe does mean bud in German.
That's great, and very fitting too. The suffix changes from a seed to a bud to imply the growth of the bulb on Bisaknosp's back.
That's right, and in the next stage it will change once more. Venusaur is Bisaflor, which changes the ending from Knosp, meaning bud, to flor, meaning flower in Latin.
That's really cool that the names reflect the growth of the bulb from seed to bud to flower. This is the perfect name for these three Pokemon and really ties in with the game's evolution mechanic.
Absolutely. And while the last parts of the names are pretty self-explanatory to a German speaker, I never knew the meaning of the Bisa part until now.
Next up, we have Charmander, who is known as Glumanda.
Glumanda is a combination of Glu from German Glut, meaning ember, and Manda from salamander, which has the same meaning as in English.
Glumanda's evolved form is known as Glutexo.
Glutexo also contains glut, meaning ember, and the exo is a bit tricky, but it could be a combination of exe, meaning lizard, and dino, meaning dinosaur.
Rounding off the Zard family, or should I say the Glue family, we have Glurak.
You probably can tell that the glue derives from ember, and the final part, rak, most likely comes from Draco, the Latin word for dragon.
Poor Glurak. Even though he's named after a dragon, he didn't become a dragon type till his Mega X evolution in X and Y.
Yeah, poor Glurak is named after a dragon but isn't a dragon type.
Next up we have Squirtle.
Or, as it's known in Germany, Shiggy. The first part of this name comes from Schildkröte, which is the German word for turtle.
Where does the second part come from?
The Gi doesn't really carry any meaning. It just makes it sound cuter.
Well, it's definitely working because Shiggy is probably one of the cutest names I've ever heard. Or turtle goes by Shurok in German.
The first part of Schillok comes from Schildkröte again, and Lock is from the German word Locke, meaning curl, because of its curly tail.
And for our final Pokemon today, Blastoise is Turtok.
Turtok comes from the English word turtle, and the ok may come from lock, as in lock on.
'Cause Turtok can lock on to target with its shell cannon. Well, that wraps up today's list. Thank you so much for watching, and stick around because there's more Pokemon to cover. And also, don't forget to follow my friend Donata on Instagram and subscribe to her channel on YouTube because she makes wonderful content that you're not going to want to miss, including the fantastic illustrations that were featured in today's episode.
Thank you for your kind words. It was a pleasure doing this first video with you, and I can't wait for the second part.
Of course, and neither can I.